All right. Welcome to another episode of the Leaving California podcast. Here we explore the stories of families and individuals who are trying to make the right decision on whether or not to leave California for greener pastures. I'm your host, Cherie Harrington, and today we have a very special guest with us, Haya Kessler, who is a real estate agent from Las Vegas. And she's here to share insight with us about the ups and downs of leaving our beautiful state and moving to Las Vegas, Nevada. So she's going to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, what we can expect as Californians moving to the Las Vegas area. So welcome, Haya. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me on the show today.
Yes, I appreciate you. So let's dive right in. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and how you ended up becoming a real estate agent in Las Vegas?
Sure. I started real estate in 2005. I was in Louisville, Kentucky, and my kids were at school. I didn't know what to do, and it became a great opportunity for me. So I started real estate over there. 2 years later, we moved to Las Vegas, so I had to get started again. And I've been practicing real estate since then. Currently, I have a team of 9 agents that work with me, and I have an operations manager. So we have a really nice team. We cover all the Las Vegas area, which will be, what we consider greater Las Vegas, would be Henderson, Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Lake Las Vegas, Summerlin, which, Summerlin and Lake Las Vegas are not cities on their own, but people call them separately. And we will cover a little bit outside of our area, up to an hour away to Boulder City, Logandale, Overton, and sometimes we'll go to Mesquite and Pahrump.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So I didn't know that you started, did you say Kentucky?
Yeah, I started in Louisville, Kentucky. Yes,
That's so interesting. Wow. So that must have been a big change just going from there to Las Vegas, right?
It was huge because when we started there, the city of Louisville is a city like every other city. And, people underestimated the thing is very rural, but it's not. It's very urban. But
Okay.
we worked a lot in the country because people come there and they expect to have 100 acres or 200 acres. And, just like in any big city, you don't find that in the city. So we had to go outside of the city. And so we did a lot of rural when we were
Oh,
there.
interesting. Wow. What a big culture shock that must have
Oh,
been.
yeah,
That's
totally.
crazy. So I feel like, so I've been to Las Vegas a million times because I had a corporate background and we always had all of our meetings there and conventions and all that stuff. So my vision of Las Vegas is very jaded, right? I'm only used to being on the strip, like not going anywhere outside of the strip. So this is going to be really educational for me as well. So I appreciate you hopping on. What are some of the things that you love about Las Vegas?
Oh my gosh, it's so many that it's really hard to mention. But I think, the lifestyle here is actually really great. People really don't understand what Vegas is. They think that we all
Mhm.
live in a casino at the strip, that we don't know where grocery stores are. But there's a very big and vibrant city outside of the strip, and it's just a normal city. We have one of the largest amount of parks in many states and cities. We have about 140 parks in Las Vegas,
Oh,
from
wow.
dog parks to different, children's parks, little water parks, little all kind of parks. Each community builds a lot of parks, so it's something that most people don't know. The weather here is fantastic except for 3 months, which that would be something we can talk about later on. But the weather is amazing. We don't have bugs. There's no bugs in Las Vegas, very few bugs. So no
A beautiful
cockroaches, no
thing.
nothing. Yeah, we don't have state or city tax, which is a huge savings for people. And we have all the entertainment
Yep.
that you could possibly ever want. So, and it's a very, diverse community. We have people from all over the world, from all ethnicities, religions, countries. It's actually a wonderful city to be in.
Do you live in the city of Las Vegas or do you live in one of the suburbs?
I live in Summerlin. We are about 12 miles from the Las Vegas Strip. It's considered Las Vegas, but it's a master plan community. It got started more than 20 years ago by the Hughes Corporation, and they build it
Okay.
in stages. So It's a beautiful master plan community, very high end, very desirable.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I think what you said is exactly what I just picture the Strip. I don't picture that anybody lives there full time or anybody lives outside of that, or like you said, grocery stores. Like you don't see any of that when you're on the
No,
Strip.
no, you don't. And we do have strip adjacent properties. We don't have a lot of high risers in Las Vegas. The ones that you see are on the strip, and there's not too many either that are not hotels. So some of the properties and again, there's a few properties on the strip that are condo hotels. So you can rent them as an Airbnb, and then there's a few that are just condos, but those are more strip adjacent. And
Okay.
yeah, so there are people that live there full time, believe it or
So that
not.
might be interesting for people as well, then, even if you didn't want to move there, or you moved there and then you bought something on the Strip that you could Airbnb and then your relatives could stay there or whatever when they visit. That's
Yeah,
kind of
we
interesting.
have 5 properties like that adjacent to the strip. And
Okay.
and they vary in ranges of prices, but you can do that. We have Vedara. It's the Vedara signature at MGM, the Trump Towers. There's a Platinum that is a little bit on the lower spectrum of price. You can get condos there. Oh, I would say around the 200s, high 200s.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, but the HOAs are very high. We're talking about $1,000 a month or so.
Okay.
But then you can have the hotel take care of that. So the hotel manage it for you. And also
Hmm.
the Palms Place outside by the Rio Hotel on the other side of the strip. That's also another condo hotel. And you can either manage it yourself as an Airbnb, or you can have the hotel manage it for you.
Okay. Maybe you and I should talk about that afterwards.
Yes.
Sounds
Oh, yeah.
very interesting.
It's
Very
very interesting. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, okay, so no state income tax and no city tax, you said. So here, depending on your income, the state tax can be up to 13, I think it's 13.4%. So that's a lot of money. So
It's
that's,
a lot. Yeah, that's a saving already of about 13% from your
yeah.
income that you're not going to have to pay here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so when you were talking about weather, so you and I were talking earlier, and I said, "Oh, it's pouring here. It's awful. I mean, it never rains here, so we're
Right.
kind of spoiled." But so, what are the three like worst months there? And you're talking worse for heat or
For
worse?
heat. Yeah,
Okay,
for heat. Yeah, because we can have months long of 100 plus temperatures.
okay,
It usually will get up the highest around 115, 118, which is pretty hot. Anything above 100 is just like
yeah,
it's hot. You open the door, and it just goes at you. So,
yeah.
but the rest of the year, our weather is fantastic. It's kind of like a spring weather. We are 60s, 70s, 80s. The winters can get cold. For some people, it gets a little cold. We can go down to the 30s,
Okay,
40s, 50s. So, we have like the winter months that would be sometimes middle of November, December, January, February that get pretty cold. And then we have the hot months that can be June, July, and August. And then
okay,
it trickles a little bit into September sometimes, but it's just a desert, so it varies. We have some days that are really hot, and then the next day it drops 30 degrees.
yeah.
But, but the weather, it actually is wonderful. We get a lot of snowbirds coming here because it's so much better. But if
Hmm.
you are really sensitive to the heat, I wouldn't be here on the 3 months of the summer because it
Yeah,
gets
just
hot.
leave.
It gets hot. I mean, unless you're indoors in the air conditioning or you're at a pool, it is hot. And
Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
What tell us about the housing market there? Like I'm sure it's different in in Las Vegas than in the suburbs, but what's like the average price or median price? What can you get there
Well,
for an
for the average, our median price right now is about 483,000,
okay.
which December 2019 was 319,000. That's our median price. Our average price, there's been a huge bump there. Our average price in 2019 was 350,000, and now it's 620,000.
Wow. So
So
everything doubled during COVID. Yeah.
yes, it did. Everything is a lot more expensive, and you can get for that a 3 bedroom, 2 bath nice little home. It's not going to be in the best part of town. It's not going to be like the most desirable part of town, but it's going to be in a good part of town. It's going to be in an area that, it's a nice place to be, that families can grow and go. But like everything, like in every city, every little part of the city has something that is great about it. And
Right.
if you want to be, we have some neighborhoods here, and I don't know how it is in San Diego, but in Las Vegas, we may have like $1 million community, and next to that, apartment complexes. And
Right.
it doesn't bring the value down. That's just the way that the city is. We have a lot of master plan communities. So the master plan communities have everything planned for them, including apartment complexes. So you
Okay.
have rentals, you have townhomes, you have condominiums, you have luxury homes, and you have more average homes. So everything is there in the mix. And I know in other cities it's not like that. But in our city, you find that. Then when you go to the older parts of Las Vegas, um, we have a lot of places that are, you know, restructuring or rebuilding. So you may have an area that is totally like old and not that great, and then across the street they're starting to fix the homes, and it's one.
Okay.
So it just depends what you want, where you want to be. We just have about everything. We even have horse properties here, so
Oh,
you can go way to the north, you can go way to the east, and the east side, people don't always think is the best side, but there are parts of the east side that are amazing. They have, horse properties with acreage, $1 million, multi-million-dollar homes, the same in the north side. So it's just a matter what your lifestyle is, what you need, what your budget is,
right.
and where you want to be. We can find you everything here.
How is the homeowners insurance there? Do you guys
The
have any
homeowner
issues?
insurance is not as high as yours. We don't have a lot of natural disasters, so there's really not. It's gone up, and it always goes up a little bit, but we don't have like fires or floods or anything like that in a
Okay.
major capacity. What we do have expensive is our auto insurance. Auto insurance, I
Hmm.
believe, is more expensive than California, which is
Okay.
amazing that anything would be more expensive than
I
California.
know, right? Exactly. Why is that? Just theft or what?
It's because, well, there's theft, and we have people that come from everywhere, and they don't know how to drive.
Oh, okay.
And there's also a lot of drunk driving. There's a lot of people that have too much fun, and they
Yeah.
come to the city, they rent a car. So our auto insurance is probably one of the highest.
Okay.
But you can compensate with that by not having state tax or city tax and
Yeah.
cheaper gas prices. Our gas right now is between $3.30 to $4 at the tops.
It's crazy. I was just in upstate New York and it was like 305 or something. And
Oh,
when I left San Diego, by the airport, it was almost $7.
oh
It was
my God, that
650.
hurts. That
Yeah.
that hurts me, and then my son sends me pictures from Texas, like a $2 something, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
It's crazy. It's just
Yeah.
all these additional taxes that we have here just add up like
Yes.
crazy. I'm assuming like the price of groceries just high like they are everywhere or
I think so. I think, just to give you, an idea, I just wrote a few things here. If you just wanted to get some, but like milk and this is an average. So we're averaging between like the high end, that is the organic and all of that, to like the cheaper end. So, like about milk would be about $3.70, eggs between $5 to $9 because eggs
oh
have gone up so
yeah,
much.
it's crazy
But
right now. Yeah.
a head of lettuce about $1.80, potatoes about $1 a pound, tomatoes about $1.70 a pound.
Hmm.
Chicken fillets, and we're not talking about organic, we're just talking about average, about $4.50. So,
Okay.
I think it's about it's high for us. It used to be a lot cheaper than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody's kind of going through that right now.
Yes.
What about the school systems? Do you know anything about?
Well, I can say that we don't have the best school systems. They're
Oh,
working on that. There's a big push to make the schools better. They are like in every city and in every community. There's some parts of the cities that have better schools. In the new master plan communities that we have that they're building brand new schools, they're usually the better schools. But we
Okay.
have a lot of charter schools as well. So the parents
Mm,
have a choice to try
that's
to
nice.
put their kids in a charter school. And then we have some very good private schools.
Okay.
But again, it is something that any person that comes to Vegas, they need to check. They can go to the Clark County School District website and check it out. And some of the schools have really great like science programs, or some of them have really sports programs that are more fitted for their children. So, it's very subjective how good a school is for every family,
Right.
because they may have some interest that for another person will be like, I don't want my kids to go there. However, because of this program, I really want them to be there. But we do have some charter schools that parents can go there, and we have a fantastic art school.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think the school thing is very subjective because I see a lot of people, I only want to be in the Carlsbad school district, but then, I think when my daughter was going to school, we were still in Oceanside and it was like a 4 out of 10, but it was a great school. Like we didn't have any
Yeah.
problems with it. So I don't understand some of the scoring that they do with the schools.
Yeah. I think
Um,
it's really subjective. I mean, people choose a school, when people come to Las Vegas, I tell them, I said, you know what? I said, what was important to me when I moved here, when my kids were in school, may not be important to you. We were looking for a good band
right.
program because my kids were in band. And that was really
Okay.
important. And two schools in town, one in Henderson and one in Summerlin, that had the best band programs. So our
Yeah.
choice, I didn't care about anything else. That was what we were looking for. So everybody
Right.
has different needs for their children.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone's different. I think
Mhm.
what I would think one of the great things about Vegas would be the airport,
Yeah. And
right? I mean, you have, and I don't know about maybe leaving, going out of Las Vegas, but I know going into Las Vegas, the flights are incredibly cheap. Is it the same way when you're going out, or is it just that way coming in because they want to attract more
no, it's
tourists?
the same. It's the same. You can get
Okay.
really good flights going out. I mean, we get super cheap flights to California and to different places. The good thing about our airport, and they're planning on expanding it, I think finally we're going to have, because now we have Terminal 1 and Terminal 3. I think finally we're going to have Terminal 2. And I don't know why they went
Oh,
from 1 to 3, because we skipped the 2, but I think they're going to bring
yeah,
it
that's
in
weird.
now. And there's a project in the future to build a massive airport, because we're a very, very, very busy airport. We get people coming from all over the world.
Hmm.
We have limited international flights, but we have flights
Okay.
everywhere else. So we really have connections from here to all over the world.
Okay. That's nice. That's awesome.
Mhm.
What are some of the things? I mean, we talked about weather, right? What are some other things when people are moving from here, going to there, that they might not necessarily think about that they really need to do their homework on,
Well,
or
they
things
need
that
to
they
do their,
like?
yeah, I think, a lot of people that come, they all want to be close to the strip. They all want to do, and not necessarily
Mm,
that they're going to do anything to the strip, but it's almost like that feel that I need to be close there because everything is there. And we
yeah.
have everything in every community. The strip is fantastic. I think we have here probably the best restaurants and chefs from the world. Everybody wants to come here. We can have just about any show on the strip, any variety show, any big performer artist show. But we also have the Smith Center that has, that's where we get the musicals and we get the symphonies and we get the orchestras and we get the theater
Mhm.
and we get the the other type of art that a lot of people think that we don't have. They think we just have like the glitz of the world, which we
Right.
do. You can have, you can get here anything you want. We are a 24-hour city, which is amazing. So when I leave Las Vegas and go somewhere else and they tell me, oh, it's closing at 10, I'm like, what do you mean it's closing at 10? No, they have a restaurant that I can go to. I mean, I want a martini
Yeah.
or want a something. And And we have things here, you know that at least there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 places that you can go any time of the day or night to get food. And
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, we do have a
That is.
neighborhood casino. Every community has a casino. We all have our own casinos where
Oh,
we go to the movies, where we go bowling, where we go to restaurants, and we don't look at it as oh, that's a casino. No, that's where you go to the movie theater, So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and you need to,
Interesting. Okay, I
yeah,
guess I
you
need
need
to
to
get off the strip and see what's there.
well, come and I'll take you around. But the other thing is that when you go to a grocery store, they all have slot machines. They have a little
Yeah,
room where people are gambling. Gas stations, they have slot machines.
that's
So
awesome.
when you come here, I remember when I moved to Vegas and I went to the grocery store, I was like, oh my God, they're gambling here. Like, what is that? And, but that's Vegas. You can drink alcohol
Yeah,
24/7. They sell it at the grocery store. They sell it everywhere. It never closes. So, uh,
yeah,
you,
that's
you get
interesting.
used to a life that is 24/7, and it's kind of fun. I kind of like it.
It would be hard. It would be hard going anywhere else because I think I just experienced that last week when I was in upstate New York, not in the city, but it was like restaurants were closed at 9, like
Yeah,
hard close at 9. It's like, okay, some people still have to eat here, So
right.
it's kind of interesting. That would be really hard for you, I think, coming
Oh,
out of
it
there
is.
because everything.
Sometimes it gets really hard when you travel because you're not used to that, and
Mhm.
or even like some little simple things like we're used to here. You go to a hotel, you're staying at a hotel, you go to eat at a restaurant. You can take with you your glass, of wine or cocktail or whatever, leaving you're in your own hotel, you leave and you take your glass with you. In most places, you cannot leave with a glass of alcohol
Right.
in your hand. And it's
Yeah.
like, what do you mean I need to chug it? I didn't finish it yet. Or you can
Exactly.
take your bottle. You're at the hotel, at the restaurant, and you got a bottle of wine or champagne. You can take it with you. They said you want to take
Yeah.
it, you can take it with you. So it's little things that you don't think about that you get used to when you're in Vegas, and then when you move somewhere else, they're not really important, but they're just like little things that you don't
Right.
think about.
Little
But
guilty pleasures, little nice things.
yeah, but we are not cheap when it comes to entertainment. We are very expensive. The shows are
Okay.
very expensive. Eating down on the strip is very expensive. Probably it's equivalent to some, maybe a
Okay.
couple dollars less. But if you go to a strip hotel and you get a cocktail, it's not going to be less than $18, $20. And
Yeah, because of the tourists, yeah. I imagine the
yeah,
prices are jacked up, just like they are downtown here.
yeah. So, outside of the strip, you'll get a cocktail for $13, $10. Happy hour, you may get lucky to $8. But there's really nothing. People used to come to Vegas and food and buffets and liquor was really cheap. It's not anymore.
Yeah.
So if you come to visit, you need to bring money.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
What are some other things? So I always tell people, like, if you're gonna move, make a big move like that out of state. Any move's a big move, I guess, but moving out of state, that if you can, you should stay in the area for a few weeks if you can. In the What would be the worst time for that area, right? So I would assume if I were going to move to Las Vegas, I would try to stay there for a few weeks in July or August just to see if I could take the heat, right? Because I've
Right.
got I hear a lot of people, and I've had friends that have moved out of state to Arizona, Florida, Idaho, and they're so hell bent on getting out of here, usually for emotional reasons, for something political or whatever, and they leave, and then they're like, oh crap, what did I do? And then
Right.
they try to move back, and it's very difficult because the prices keep going up. It's not like you can sell your house and come back and buy that same house for the same price. The prices are going to go up. So
Right.
is there anything there you can think of if somebody's going to stay there for a few weeks? Is there anything that you haven't already talked about that they should experience or make sure that they understand about the area?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that they drive around because people see houses and see neighborhoods and they said, "Oh, I love it. Oh, you told me that I cannot get something like that. And here, let me show you. I just found it myself."
Mm,
And I think what people need to understand is that, when they talk to a realtor, any realtor, could be me, could be somebody else, but when they talk to somebody to help them and they give us their criteria, and what I like to do is I like them to send me like their lifestyle. I want to know how they live, what are their interests, what do they do. So when we send them that information, it's based on their lifestyle, not based on the price. And when we send them the properties,
right.
they don't find what they want based on their lifestyle, and then they start looking in other places. We have a lot of new construction in Las Vegas, and they're all in the perimeters of the city. They're not close to the city. And I think that's most
Yeah.
cities because, you have to grow outside. The city is already built, and then you have to grow outside. So for me, what I always tell them
Right.
is, if you're going to come here, this is what you want. This is what I know is probably what you're going to want, but this is the homes that you think you like. Drive by it, drive the neighborhoods, get lost in the city, see what is there,
Hmm.
because you may not like it or you may like it. I don't know. But a lot of times people do, "Oh my gosh, I saw this house. You told me that I cannot get anything for less than 500 that I want, and I found for 350." I said, "Well, go look at the neighborhood." I said, "No."
Drive it at night, see if you still like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said, just drive the neighborhood, check it out, talk to the neighbors,
Mm,
see if that's the kind of neighborhood that you are accustomed to living in. And that's all that I
yeah.
really think it's important for people to know. If you don't like the heat, come in the summer for sure. If
Yeah.
you're sensitive to cold, come in the winter because
Yeah.
Vegas is very windy. They say Chicago is the windy city. I think, oh, excuse me, I think Vegas is really the windy city. We
Oh,
get extreme winds here, extreme winds, and then it blows really cold. Like the other day, it was 45 degrees, but the wind was blowing so hard that it felt like 23 degrees.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so if you're really sensitive to cold, if you think that you're coming to Vegas and it's going to be always hot, it's not.
Yeah.
We get cold and we get a lot of wind. It's very dusty, even though we're all fully built. You always get dust everywhere. You have like little film of dust. You dust today, you get
Yeah.
dust tomorrow. And if you like the
Yeah.
ocean, we don't have the ocean. The positive is that we are probably one of the closest states to the ocean when you're living outside of California. So if you're going to Arizona, you're a little further out. If you come to Las Vegas, you're just 3 to 5 hours away from the ocean. So if you miss the ocean, it's an easier commute there. And,
True.
we have Lake Las Vegas.
And a cheap flight,
Yep.
pretty much. You can get out. So
Yeah,
yeah.
you can get out. And, a flight from here to San Diego, it's only an hour. A flight
Yeah.
to LA, to Orange County, it's an hour. So
Yeah.
if you want to go back and visit, I definitely think we are located just at the right spot. We do have Lake Las Vegas that is a man-made lake, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And they have all kind of summer activities, boating and,
Mm,
canoeing and kayaking. And this is something that I did not mention, but we have a lot of outdoor activities here. And you are close to a lot of places. So if you are somebody that likes to do hiking, biking, horseback riding, just 30 minutes from the strip, we have the Red Rock Canyon,
mm.
and you can do rock climbing, you can do hiking. We have miles and miles of trails of all levels of activity. An hour away, we have Lee Canyon. You can go skiing. It's not the best skiing in the world, but if you need your ski fix, you can go there. And
You can get it.
beautiful. You can
Nice.
get it, and then you go from the desert to the mountains, and there are pine trees, and there's snow everywhere, and the little, log cabins, and it's just gorgeous. So, I mean, we have a lot of things that are just here. You can go to Utah, you can go to Arizona. I mean, everything is like right here. You can go to the Grand Canyon. It just takes a couple hours to be there. So, if you're an outdoorsy person, you're close to a lot.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. I love this place. I mean, I can talk on and on and on about Las Vegas. It is just a wonderful place. Is it perfect? No, there's no perfect place, but
That's the fact. Yep.
you know, it's a really wonderful place to move to. You either really love it or you really hate it. I don't think
Yeah.
there's anything between there.
Okay. That's awesome. I so appreciate you being on today. It's been super helpful, and I'm sure the listeners appreciate the honesty and the practical advice. And again, for people that are thinking about moving, I would just really take a hard look at why you're moving. And if it's to be near family or to have a job relocation, that's one thing. But if you're just mad at Governor Newsom today, like think about why you're moving, where you're
Yeah,
moving, spend some time there. It's just really
yeah,
hard to come back. And if you have a house to sell, I always tell people, if you can, keep your house and just rent it out
yes,
for a while, and then you have somewhere to
yes.
come back to if you want to come back. Some people leave and they're super happy with it. So it
Right.
just depends on the person. But what's the best way for our audience to reach you if they're interested in the Vegas area?
Well, they can call me at 702-538-5565. They can log into my website, thekesslerteamlv.com. They can also email me, Haya Kessler01 at gmail.com. I
Awesome.
answer to everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And it's so cool to me how I become friends with my referral partners. And I love you. And I was really excited to be able to
Oh,
see you a couple weeks ago. So thank you for everything that you do for everybody that's trying to move and our referral group and all that. I really appreciate you.
thank you so much, Cherie. And I feel the same. The feeling is mutual. I mean, I feel that we're such good friends now. We have
Yeah.
this connection, and it's really a pleasure to help people moving here. I moved a lot throughout my life, and I hate moving. And I
Yeah.
think it's so important that you have somebody that can just hold your hand and guide you through everything. And
Yeah.
the only thing I recommend people when they move, just tell us everything you need. Just tell us your life. We need to know everything,
Yeah.
because if we
It's
don't know
important.
everything, we cannot help you the way that you need to be helped. But my team and I will be very happy to answer anybody's questions, anything they need to know. No obligation. Sometimes people just have a few questions. I'll be more than happy to answer.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Have a good
Bye
day.
bye. You too.